Welcome. In this video, we will be looking at perspectives on how we order our loves. If we want to love everyone, who should we love first? And do we have to love everyone equally? In this video, I'll be drawing on parts of Chapter 3 in The Ethics of Encounter by Marcus Mescher. The story of the Good Samaritan calls us to love our neighbor and suggests that our neighbor is anyone. From this, we get the concept of universal Christian love, a love that extends to all human beings without distinctions or stipulations. This ideal raises the question, does neighbor love exclude preferential love? To answer that question, we have to juggle many competing concerns. Here are just a few. It's hard to love people that are geographically distant. It is much easier to show love to the people I encounter every day than it is to people I know that live in other countries, to say nothing of the strangers in those countries. It certainly isn't impossible to show love to someone geographically distant, but it's harder. Sometimes what helps one neighbor does not help another. If I have $100 to donate to a charity to help people in need, I have to make a choice. I have to choose a particular charity that helps particular people. I can't give it in a way that helps everyone. We want to prioritize those who have the greatest need. While it initially sounds like a great goal to love everyone equally, we are likely to discover that in practice, it often makes more sense to focus on showing love to those most in need. Is this counter to universal Christian love? Finally, we can best show love to those who are nearest to us and most vulnerable with us, generally friends and family. I can't love all people equally well. Really showing love in a deep way requires intimacy. I don't know what a random stranger in the Philippines needs to feel whole, loved, and worthy. And if I did, she probably couldn't receive it from me. But I do know what my husband needs to feel loved, and I can give it and he can receive it. This is just a smattering of issues that start to come up. Mescher introduces us to the perspectives of several theologians to help us sort through this all. Gustavo Gutierrez is a theologian from Peru whom Mescher quotes and discusses frequently. Mescher writes, "He exhorts disciples to a conversion that implies a break with their previous lives and to go out to look for on the highways and byways, in the factories and slums, on the farms and in the mines, neighbors in need, without attending to their pre-existing relationships and responsibilities." Gutierrez takes a radical approach here. Don't just help those you encounter, go out looking for people in need. And then don't just help, become their friend. Gutierrez prioritizes those in need, but not family and other prior responsibilities. Mescher, for his part, doesn't think this is really feasible for most of us. Augustine was a theologian around the year 400, and he was tuned into some of Mescher's concerns. Mescher writes of Augustine, "Augustine wrestled with how to live up to the duty that all people should be loved equally, while acknowledging that you cannot do good to all people equally. So you should take particular thought for those who, as if by lot, happen to be particularly close to you in terms of place, time, or any other circumstance. We should love all people equally, but since we can't, we love those we can simply because we can. We don't love our family because our family is more worthy of love, but because we happen to live in the same house as them. This attempt to have your cake and eat it too, love everyone equally while still loving your family more, is helpful, but probably doesn't express how most of us honestly feel about our families." Kierkegaard isn't cutting any corners. Mescher writes of his perspective, "He concluded that reciprocal loves, including friendship, are reducible to self-love and ultimately incompatible with Christian love, the essential form of which is self-renunciation. One sees his neighbor only with closed eyes or by looking away from all distinctions. To love someone with Christian love, you should not see that they are poor or near to you or family. Those distinctions don't matter if it's Christian love. We can see this attitude in the story of the Good Samaritan. Don't ask who your neighbor is. Don't worry about their particularities. However, Mescher is concerned that it is precisely attention to particularities that allow us to love someone well. Lastly, we have Aquinas. Mescher writes of Aquinas, "As Aquinas points out, a cause of love is similitude, and it is impossible, and in fact morally undesirable, to avoid loving some more than others, especially when we share more in common with some than others. First priority is given to parents, children, and one's spouse, followed by friends and near neighbors. In Aquinas' view, love for distant and needy neighbors can rightly be expressed through mercifully giving alms." Aquinas notes, and Mescher agrees, that we naturally and morally love those whom we have more in common with. Those we share our lives with receive more of our love. Universal Christian love can still be expressed, but in a more limited way through giving to charities to help those in need. Mescher, though, doesn't think charity is enough. He would rather see Christians engage in universal Christian love by working for justice. By creating more just societies and ultimately a more just world, we express our love for all people without distinction.